Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully I'm audible and you can see me. Feeling a bit nippy, actually. It looks bright enough outside, but it's cooled down in here. Anyway, hopefully our conversation will warm things up. We're going to more than likely have Roy and I think Richard joining us again today. And I'll be looking out for a third person who may come in. I've invited him, but we'll see. Otherwise, I can share with you some of the things I've been doing with JMRI. It's Java Model Railroad Interface. Okay, here's Roy coming on stream.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, John?
I can't hear anything from you at the moment.
Oh, no, still can't hear me.
No.
No. Well, just a minute then.
Maybe I've done a test on myself. I seem to be working. So, can you hear me through your speakers? Yeah, must be your mic then. Oh, hang on, you're muted at the moment. Or I've muted. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, I just spotted it down at the bottom there.
No, still can't hear you.
Oh.
It's fun, this, isn't it? Anyway, while we're trying to get Roy sorted out, I'll just mention a couple of things that we'll be hopefully doing while we're on stream today. Richard's been chatting with me and Roy's been chatting with me about what they've been doing, and I've been playing with my own updates and getting some signaling working. Now, so we'll hopefully have a look at various panels and see what they can do. If you've got questions, do pipe up on the chat. Say something, Roy. I can't hear any noise.
No, nothing. Still nothing.
No, not getting anything.
It's 2 ticks.
Sorry. Completely nothing. I'll do an audio test again for myself. Testing. Yeah, that's all working for me. I've just switched something over.
Is that any better?
That's better.
Excellent. I don't know whether it'll work with the headset. I'll give it a try, but see whether it makes any improvement.
Testing. Yeah, that's cool.
Still hear me?
Yeah, it's a little delayed, but I think better than it was. Yeah, there's a lot less echo or anything else now, so that's cool. You can't hear me. Could you? No. Speak to me, Roy. Unplug the headphones. If you're gonna take the headphones off, unplug them. It's a bit of a comedy, isn't it? Anyway, hopefully we will get people live and talking soon.
I'm back again.
I can hear you now.
It must have something to do when I plug those in. It like takes over and then it doesn't like it if I unplug it and that sort of thing. So we'll manage.
Have they got a built-in microphone?
No. Sorry, yeah, it's a built-in microphone. You know, arm-wise.
Yeah. Are you pushing it in far enough? Because sometimes if you push it in the socket only 3/4 way and not fully, it only connects the ear socket, not the microphone.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I don't
you have
know.
to give it an extra shove in the hole, you know.
Yeah, I was using it earlier this morning with Skype.
Okay.
So I think it might be something to do with the Zoom setup or something. But with the with the Skype this morning, I could unplug it, plug it in, backwards and forwards, no problem. This one seems to, if I plug it in, it locks it.
Yeah.
Unplug it, and I can't. It's easier to come out and go back in again. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We're all right. I mean, the mic's not brilliant as it is, but it's okay. So we can live with that. Hopefully, you can hear me plenty loud enough. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, good. I think Richard was supposed to be joining us. I have emailed him. There was another guy on the forum who's been sharing with me his layout plan. I don't know if he'll join us. I have invited him.
Right.
But let's start with yourself, Roy, seeing as you're here. Tell us what you've been up to, and tell us what stage you're at.
Primarily, to be truthful, I've been trying to sort out my networking. Getting the networking system running on my ready for going on to the layout. But I have been talking with Neil and Richard about the signalling, the SNL. And as we said the other day, I've got pretty well into it now as I understand it, let's put it that way, to a degree. But I got an email this morning from Richard saying, and from Neil actually. Neil was saying he's done a little bit more and managed to do something with groups or something. I've not fully understood what he was saying, but I think it was something to do with where it actually wants to use sections. I don't know. You had a word with Richard yesterday.
Yeah, we had quite a long chat and went through some of his panel, and he was going to come back with some of the things we were working on, effectively adding sections and transits. We tried using some of the automatic tools, and he was having some issues with that. So he's actually ended up doing some manual adding of things.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't grasp, because I've not got anywhere, I'm not up to that stage. So it's really a case of seeing what and how it was done.
Yeah, there are various tools for doing things automatically, which, to be honest, when I started out, I missed the fact they existed. So whether the help was pointing in that direction sufficiently to say, here are some really useful tools which will do a lot of the job for you or not, I'm not sure. I know there's been a lot of work on the help recently, but I certainly now am aware of some of these things. If I was starting from scratch, I might try doing things, but the experience of using them with Richard wasn't entirely positive. So there may be some problem in there, or it may have been the way we'd set things up. I'm not sure, but he thinks he's making progress again. So I've been trying out various things with this other guy's panel to try to get his signal masks working, and it has actually thrown out some interesting issues. And incomplete bits and bobs. And I've been using the latest test version. I've also had some issues with some errors on there, which I've reported to the forum. Steve G has offered to fix one of them already. Just a small thing, but it's just a little. So they've made some improvements which actually have affected some of the things I've been doing, and have been made things easier as well for some of the features that I'm using.
It's JMRI.
Yeah. So it's good to see that kind of progress. It's frustrating when errors occur because, they're making several changes with test versions at the moment. I've tended to end up on the test version rather than the production version because some of the features I want to be working have been put in the test, but not to production. So I've been because I'm not attached to the live layout. It's not critical if it fails or works. you know, that's I'm not worrying about it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it's just welcome Anfield Road. Good to see you. If you want to join in, if you need the link, I think.
Yeah, hi from Anfield.
I can email you it, because I think I've got your email, haven't I? So just say yay or nay if you want to join in on the live stream. You'd be very welcome. We might have a couple of other people joining us, as I was saying, but we'll see. Yeah, my back's a lot better today. I feel like I might have come through it, Roy.
Excellent. That's good news.
Yeah.
The
other bit of good news. Just if anyone follows me on that social media platform, which allows you to post photographs of your trains and share them with the world. Well, there are several of those. You're probably going, now, which one is he talking about? Well, to be honest, I'm on several. But Instagram has, I'm on there as Johns_00_trains. I'm also on there as another one, but that's for more generic photographs. But I put a little video up of a Lima 37 with a TTS decoder fitted, and anyway, it was working fine, and then it went wrong, and I sent it off to Hornby, and this morning I've had a replacement TTS decoder come through under warranty, which I'm glad about, but I'm frustrated. I'll be honest. I'll say it here in public, because I sent a letter explaining my concerns about using these decoders, because I'm using it in a Lima loco.
Right.
And it's not that Hornby are unfamiliar with Lima, because they actually took over a lot of the molds and stuff, and effectively reproduce a lot of the Lima stuff now themselves. And I'm sure they're aware of the concerns of others on various forums about it, but I haven't actually had a response back to anything I asked. They just literally sent it and generic kind of paperwork with it, which was disappointing. But I'm looking forward to fitting that back in and treating it very carefully. I'm definitely going to use a socket this time. I'll have to get myself a little plug-in socket to do it. Yeah. So I'd hard soldered it last time, and I want to be able to remove them easily and plug them in easily. You know. Yeah.
I've had a little board delivered the other day. It's just a small test board, just two round, a loop, just two loops with a couple of crossovers. Just literally to have a bit of a practice with the signalling. It's only 3 foot by 2 foot. It's a sort of predecessor, if you like, to my 5x3, which is going to be coming out. Fortunately, my friend who actually, I don't lay track. I'm not good at laying track at all. So he's actually laid the track, wired it for me and everything. And he fortunately found a couple of spare points available from the club, which we have borrowed. So I've just got a bit of a track now with 2 loops on it to have a play. And I'll be putting some sensors on that over the next couple of weeks to get into it. And as far as I'm aware, I'm not planning at the moment to put any hardware signals on, but just to run them as though they were hardware in the, on the JMRI, with a view to possibly fit in hardware later on, just for testing.
We've had a question, Roy. We got another visitor on the channel. High Oak Junction. It's John from High Oak. Good to have you on board, John. Just to say, I do really love your layout, and maybe I've missed a recent update from you on your channel, but anyway, I look forward to your videos immensely. So very welcome. And he's asking a question, Roy. What kind of layout are you building, and is it 00 steam or diesel? Is it fictional,
Right.
or based on a real line?
No, my layout is 00 GCC. I've got one layout that is semi-completed, which I don't know if you could possibly see the part of it there, which is the end-to-end. This was really to get into the throes of actually being able to exercise some locos. So the idea of that, it's not particularly any era or it's not based on any real place. It's really just a small shunting layout that incorporates several different shunting puzzles. Personally, I'm quite into the shunting type aspect of things, where I've got on that layout, it incorporates possibly one that you may know of, which is Inglenook Sidings, which is a shunting puzzle. Another one called Time Saver, and there's 2 or 3 others that it can do. One quite good one that a lot of children like to play, we're all children at heart, is the Towers of Hanoi, where you have to move wagons based on numeric values not going on top of another. So that's a shunting exercise. The other layout that I'm doing, which John has seen based on the any rail, is a 5 foot by 3 foot N-gauge layout with multiple loops and several sidings, etc., and station areas. And John has been kindly helping me with sorting out where all the signalling has to go. Again,
do you want to mention your YouTube channel name, Roy? Because you've got a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, it's just Roy Yates. If you put in, for example, Roy Yates Inglenook Sidings at the moment, that would come up. Now that I designed one of the things I found when you go to a lot of exhibitions is I discovered quite quickly that there's lots of people, and not just children, but also adults as well, that would like to have a go, shall I say, children in particular. So I designed a layout which is actually Inglenook Sidings, and it is the shunting puzzle. And that was going out to several exhibitions up and down the country until I retired it like 2 years ago. And consequently, that is on the YouTube. It's somebody who actually solving the problem. That was all done with microchips. So I designed all the control systems based on microchip equipment for the speed controllers, for the servo drive of the signal. There's a signal on there, and a couple of barriers, and uncouplers, and so on. And all that is controlled by microcontrollers. And it is on there on the layout. Also on that area is my first attempt to show what this layout is going to be, but it has changed considerably since then. And as you know, John, I've been trying to play around trying to do another video, but I've forgotten how to do it today. So I'm trying to get back into it to put another video up of the next steps. So that's really my my experiences at the moment. At the moment,
yeah, thank you.
Getting into the JMRI, particularly on the signalling, which I'm deeply interested in. You know. So
I hope that answers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was yesterday did a little exercise of just writing up my own childhood experiences of model railways to remind myself and to make a note, really, because the grey cells start forgetting things as we get a little older, or they become a bit vaguer in the memory, don't they? So I wanted to try to remember some things, One thing I've only recently found out was that what my first introduction to model railways was. And I knew that when I was 3 years old, I'd had my first plastic train set on my brother's birthday, which was Christmas Day, 1966. And he, yeah, my mum had to go off to hospital basically and left me with my new toy, which was this. And apparently I hadn't even noticed she'd gone, you know, and when she returned back with the baby, it was like a, yeah, hello, mum, and waving over the shoulder. But what I didn't know is why I had been given that. And I asked my mother, and it was because we'd visited a family friend's house, and their boys had got a train set. And they were playing with that, and I hadn't wanted to leave. And that was when I was 3. I was determined at that point that I was going to get what I wanted. Anyway, Anfield Road, yeah, hi. What's Roy's channel? Oh, yeah.
Well, just 2 ticks, and I don't have to write a comment. I'll do write a comment.
We're getting some noise on the line, Roy. Is that your end?
What it was, I've just gone into my channel and got the address for the. For
right.
the channel. And I'm trying to figure out how to actually write it up into the comments area. I can't see any way to put the text there.
What's the channel called again? Let me find it and I'll do it.
If you just type into YouTube Roy Yates, or Roy Yates, and then Ingram Sidings, it'll probably come up actually. It's of a little boy. Well, one of the.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
You found it, yeah. You'll have to show me how to put the comments up on the comment. That looks right. Yeah. So that's
at least takes you in there. I'm not sure if that's the channel. That's probably not the channel address, but yeah, hopefully that'll work.
Just 2 ticks, I'll have to mute myself. I've got a phone call coming in.
Okay, so hope you're all right, Lee. You're not wanting to join us today. I know sometimes it's difficult for people. Got 3 people watching, which is fantastic. Anybody else who's not commented yet and wants to make a comment, ask questions, whatever on the chat, would be very welcome. If you want to join us on the live stream, let us know and we'll try to let you in. I will put up on the screen while Roy's busy something from my own computer. So I'm going to just go on share screen. So I thought I'd put this up just for a moment. It looks mad, I know, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to stop sharing a moment because I'm getting noises coming through, but Roy is muted, so that's very strange. Oh, hang on, I know where that's coming from. That's me. Helps when you start a video in the background, don't realize it's still running. Okay, so okay, High Oak Junction says, thanks, Roy. I will be starting my first exhibit layout end of the month, building a branch line with goods yard. As High Oak Junction is temporarily stopped due to up and coming extension. Oh yes, I remember now. Yes, I hope that's progressing okay. It's a scary idea having a whole extension put in. We had a roof rebuild, which was enough. A couple of LX windows added, which was really nice opportunity to do that. But yeah, it's it wasn't a conversion of the attic, so it does get too cold and too hot and too dusty and 2 other things at various times. So it'd be nice to get it done properly, but we don't have the readies for that at the moment. But I do a new job, so maybe things will improve. Anyway, well, I was going to share with you something. And when I go to share screen, I'll share the audio as well. I'll share the entire screen, just making sure I want to do that because sometimes I don't. Okay. Want you to hear audio. Okay, well, we'll try that. I'm not sure if we'll have an issue, but anyway, we'll try that. When Roy comes back on, we will hear him again. So what I want to do is just go to this screen. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to go to dispatcher. Well, before I do that, I'm going to put a train in at the top of the screen there. On there, I'm going to create a new train. Now this is a new feature in JMRI. Hopefully you can see this. To select the train when you're running from operations and building new auto trains, and there is a little bug in this, which is what I've reported. But what I'm going to do is do a loop 1 to Newquay 2 via Drinnick Mill, and then I'm going to choose the all you got to do is find a train which has a loco which actually is useful. I think that one's okay. No. And then you get this. Oh, it's gone way quickly. That's right. I'll make that 4. It doesn't really matter because we're simulating things. But for some reason, that's flipped around a bit. Okay, I'm going to restart. We'll have a time delay, 2 minutes. So reverse at the end. Run train automatically. Have a ramp rate to medium fast. And I'll leave the rest as it is, I think. And we'll create that. Now, there we go. We've got this line all the way around here, 1B60B. I'm going to run an auto train script and stick my auto run on because that helps everything run smoothly. And off it goes. That's now going to run forwards and backwards. This signal here is dropping down its aspects because it's looking ahead down the line, and as that train approaches, it's going to basically knock this signal back. Interestingly, oh, it's not set. Yeah, it's set forward down that line anyway, so if I change that point, that will be looking down that way. And that's intriguing. I'm getting signal aspects I'm not very sure I've seen for a while. Always typical, you go live stream and that's what you see. But yeah, I shouldn't get the feather or the call on necessarily. Oh, hang on a minute, I've got this point set. Why have I got that? That's better. That was the siding point, which we didn't want. Anyway, here comes our auto train. Progressing around the loop, did that just in time before holding him up. And he will then go into platform 2 at Newquay, which is here, where he will reverse and 2 minutes later go back the same way, if I've set things up right. As there's no other trains running at the moment, we get a green signal with a feather going all the way back. Because the route's set, there's nothing in the way. And now it's allocated and the train's now running back. So anyway, let's just go back. Roy's still on the phone. Nobody here. Anfield Road, I hear, but I work on the way and got you on in the background. That's fine. Glad you have. Okay, Hayek's gone. Peter Drury. Yes, mate, of course you can join. Did you manage to find my email address? Because I'd rather not put the link up on here directly. I will if I have to, but did you find my email address and can you send me... Oh. Sorry, stop sharing. Yeah, if you email me, I'll be able to send you. I could see only a partial email address, but just let me know, Peter, if you got my email from the forum, from my messages. You should be able to grab it from there and then send me an email directly, not through the forum.
Right, I'm back again.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Roy, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We've got Peter Drury come on. He's the guy I was talking about, whose layout I've been looking at. Anfield Road and High Oak have both gone back to work, or are working. Well, Anfield Road is working on his layout in the background, so he's still listening in. So, yeah, I just did a little sharing thing then. I've got my auto train running backwards and forwards from the Hidden Yard to Newquay and back. I'd had a couple of points where I was having to manually switch things as other trains interacted with it, and I've now kind of automated that. So now I've had 3 trains running reliably with them over crossing each other. One's an end to end and the other doing loops. So yeah, it's quite fun. Not sure if Peter's kind of able to.
Peter, yeah.
Maybe I'll stick the link up on here. What do you think?
Just subscribe to my channel. So that's very good. I hope you enjoy it. There definitely will be more stuff coming up in the not too distant future, because I'm actually in the process of doing things now. I can briefly just show what's in the pipeline, which is actually to do with the communications and the systems using Arduino control boards. You can see it, these have all been designed, for the control systems, etc., using wireless control. And there's various different ones that are in the pipeline. These are smaller versions, which are the part that's actually interface into the JMRI interface that's going to go through the tower controllers, which are there. So it's all happening at the moment, but not fast enough at the moment. There's too many balls near the floor to juggle with. It's getting there. So all that's going to be going up on the on YouTube in the next couple of months, I would think, and the progress of getting it running on the layout.
Cool. Okay, well, I'm putting the link up on here, Peter, for you. So I don't know if you've managed to. That's the link you need to get into the live stream. As soon as you've got that, let me know in the chat, and I'll take it off there.
Yeah, that's what you've been doing, John, as far as the autotrain type thing, as we spoke about the other day, is something I'd like to look at in the near future, shall I say, once I've got my layout actually functioning, to be able to see how it actually applies. Yeah. So one of the questions I was going to ask is on the signalling of the SNL stuff that you put onto your panel, which runs, it does all the interlocking to the different, presumably when you run under auto trains or running it in an automatic mode, if the points are against an area, I'm assuming it'll slow down the train and stop it in that location.
Sorry, I missed the end of that, Roy. I got distracted by Peter joining us. There seems to be some kind of. Yeah, Roy, you've got your speakers on, haven't you? And there's quite a delay. Have you got headphones, mate? I'm afraid I'm taking you off, Peter, until you can fix what the issue is your end. If you're not using headphones and you're using your speakers and there's a delay on the line, and it's not, the auto cancellation isn't working for some reason, then we can't hear what's happening, because we're just hearing ourselves echoing back all the time. Either if you can either turn your speakers down, that sometimes helps. Otherwise, we'll try to get I'll check your mic settings. It should be on automatic. It should work. Doesn't seem to be doing that at the moment. We're just getting a lot of noise.
You're not getting the echo off me, are you?
No, you're fine. You're
Right.
fine. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, yeah, so what I was saying is that if I've got the signals on the panel, but not yet physically on the layout, yeah, I can still presumably assign or set up the real I/O or the real outputs to drive what would be the signals, and that would still operate on the panel, would it?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the idea is to just put something onto some Vera board. I mean, I'm not looking to do any real signaling as such, because all my bits and pieces are all to do with testing or playing, let's say. So all I'd be doing from a signal point of view would be replicating what the signal masts are doing as far as LEDs are concerned, probably on either a bit of printed circuit board or on a bit of Vera board, whichever I decide to build. Possibly on the bit further down the line, once I've established what I need as far as things like feathers, or possibly on the bit further down the line. I'm getting an echo again.
Yeah, I've turned him off again. Sorry, Peter. Try bringing you in again. It's not working still. It's too much.
Yeah, so the idea would be just to have, as I go further down the line, getting closer to the time when I'm doing the 5x3 layout, there's going to be an awful lot of signals if I actually implement them. So then I might design a printed circuit board set that has the different types to actually integrate that way. On the actual test rigs that I'm using at the moment, I've actually put some. You can probably see some there, just made out of Vero. So there's all these are just literally linked onto the I/O modules. This module here, the whole unit would be on the layout, and one of these modules would be driving all the point systems. Sorry, all the like the LEDs for the lighting or the points or whatever, because they're just an output board. Well, it's an input or an output board.
Sorry, just try it. Peter again. Hello, speak to us, Peter.
Sorry, am I interrupting this?
You're better. No, that's better. The level of the background noise has dropped considerably, so that's. We can still hear it all, so the noise cancellation isn't happening. I think. Yeah. I've tried it. The noise cancellation isn't happening. No, sorry, Peter, it's not working.
Yeah, Bruce has got.
You might want to try just closing down the link and coming back in again. Sometimes that, for some reason, that helps. So just drop out of everything, exit out, and come back in again. Sorry, Roy, you're trying to tell us things, and I'm.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, Peter's having problems getting on, so. Like you say, sometimes it does help. I mean, I've done it twice today, this morning. But just as we've come on, it's been best to just shut it down and restart again. And that sorted it out. Although it was working with the headphones before, but there you go. Yeah. So the thing that I'm looking at now is I'm literally wanting to get the board sorted out. Got everything ready now. It's just a case of I've just our club house. We had some of the members go down on Monday to the club and spent the day there, and have reported back on various issues that need resolving, particularly to do with the control systems down there. So I've actually got to get out the simulators for the club layout now. I've got two simulators here at home. One is what I call a short simulator. and it simulates the whole of the layout. But the layout has got something like 400 and odd I/O on it. There's an awful lot on it. It's all networked. There's over, I think there's 70 odd network cards altogether. And there is some issues, probably to do with just the fact it's not been run for the last 18 months. So consequently, it's probably got a bit damp, and maybe devices have got a bit corrupted, or we just don't know. It's something that we are planning on a visit to the club on Wednesday, the 27th. No, sorry, 23rd of June. The next lockdown release, if you like, if it goes ahead, is the 21st of June, according to our friend Mr. Boris. So we're planning on going on the Wednesday of that week to try and iron out what issues there might be. So it's the electronics and the electrical team that's going down just the 6th. So we shall see. But again,
I don't know where Richard is at the moment. Did he say he wasn't able to be here or something?
No, he did say that. I did send him an email earlier to let him know. But anyway.
Yeah, I thought he would be joining us. Oh, well, I must have got. When you're on holiday, as he is, he's. It's not so easy to keep to your schedules. He's probably having a nice lunch somewhere. Don't know if Peter, you're still listening in. I do try to join in again. Use the same link. Hopefully, it will act in a different way when you come back in again. I'm sorry that it's not worked for you so far. Oh, here he is. Let's try again.
Is that any better?
Oh, that's much better.
Right, I've gone through my settings.
Yeah.
My mic was too high.
Okay.
I'm hoping that this is better now.
Yeah. There's a little bit of noise in the background, but it's livable. Yeah, we can still hear ourselves echoing back a bit.
Yeah. I'm getting echo at the moment, which is dreadful.
Yeah. Where are you based?
Sorry?
Where are you based?
I'm down in Portsmouth.
Portsmouth. Well, that shouldn't be too bad, should it, in terms of communication speed? That shouldn't be too bad in terms of communication speed.
I'm getting the echo, but I don't know how to correct that.
Let me just try fiddling with things on my end, just see if this helps at all.
Okay.
Right, is that any better? It's very, very delayed. No, it still sounds the same to me from here, but let's try turning the echo cancellation off altogether.
No, we got a lot of it.
No, I'll put those back on. We'll have to live with it. We'll have to be patient with you because it is quite delayed, Peter. So I have had a good look at your layout, but could you just talk us through a little bit about what you're wanting to achieve? Because with signal masts, one of my main questions I have for you is that you haven't as yet, as I can see, been associating masts with block boundaries. And I think the mast logic normally relies on that.
There's a lot of cross talk on this. Look, I don't want
is.
I don't wish to interrupt you. Clearly, Roy and yourself are getting on well. What I'm going to do is go mute altogether now.
Okay.
From my source.
Okay. Well, you can put your text in the chat and any questions or points you want to make. That'd be brilliant. Yeah. Okay. That's a bit of relief, really, because that was getting bad. Don't know what's going on there.
Just a quick message. I've just seen a note there from High Oak. I don't know his name because he's not actually said his name, but he's mentioned that he's looking at doing a layout which is actually to do with a branch line. And consequently, he may be interested in one of the videos that I'm attempting to do shortly, which is of my end-to-end, which does the automatic using the scripting. Which he'd be very welcome to if he wants it, which does all the automatic to and fro and has a station capability and so on. And I am looking at enhancing that to actually take in, like parking in stations for 2 locos going backwards and forwards simultaneously and that sort of thing. So when I get that video sorted out, which I'm hoping to do hopefully over the weekend, or before the weekend if I can. It might be quite interesting for him to have a look at, because that might be something that might help him on his new layout for his building. If he wants to run something on that. So.
Okay, thanks for. I don't know. Did you catch my question, Peter, about masts and block boundaries? Because you're wanting to use signal masts, and I was just asking whether you've looked at the fact that they need to be allocated to block boundaries, and then the logic set up from there. I'll talk a little bit more about what I've been experiencing with your layout. One thing is that trying to use multiple masts, as the southern region had on it, multiple signaling aspect heads, if you like, on a gantry mast, if you want to call it that, because if you look in BR 2003 JMRI masts, there are no gantries. In fact, there are no junctions, and it's quite a significant element that's missing, I think, from the definition of signals. In fact, if you look at the feather definition in there, the feather is not even fully defined. The page for that's missing. I don't know if it was ever there. But because it's not defined in the system at the moment, even that needs setting up by logics and can't be done just through the signaling mast setup. But having said all of that, there is a kind of a gaping hole in a manner with the.
John.
Yeah, you're back on. Yeah.
There is a kind of a gaping hole in a manner with the.
John, I'm getting a lot of echo, and the echo is competing with what you're saying at the time, and
right.
I can't make any real sense of what is being said or done. I don't want to interrupt your session now, because obviously you've got a thing going. What I'll do is I'll contact you, or I'll send you a reply to that email address, so that you've got my email address, and we can start off afresh.
Excellent.
Maybe some settings I've got that isn't right. I don't wish to spoil it for you.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Thanks for trying to join anyway, Peter, and appreciate your understanding of that. Okay, well, thanks, Peter. We'll see you again, hopefully, and we'll talk in private later. So I think, what I was kind of saying then, just for everyone else's benefit, in the signaling systems for JMRI, they are put in there by willing volunteers whenever they get round to it. And at the moment, there's nothing really in there which allows you to do anything like a gantry or a junction. So whether that's something, in these discussions, we could look at kind of working on formulating and getting something for the UK market in there, because it would be extremely useful. I mean, I would find it useful because I'm missing a couple of things, but also I think for others it would be really good to try to get some of that added in. There's probably ways around it whereby you don't use masts associated with block boundaries, but you have to set up the logic yourself manually. It can get a little tricky because each mast wants to look at another mast down the line and decide then what that one's doing as to what this one should do. Obviously, that starts introducing things. Or you may want to just even use the outputs like lights or signal heads or something else to light your LEDs or whatever it is, or send the commands down the line. There's many ways of skinning a cat, and there's other ways of doing things. But at this point, trying to use signal masts not associated with block boundaries, not with junctions already available, not with feathers fully defined, it's not easily going to be sort of usable. So yeah, that's my take on that at the minute. But it's certainly something I'm interested in seeing improved and more features added. Yeah, so
another question, John, based on the take for example just a round and round layout with say a couple of crossings, just to switch between the two, the inner and the outer loops, for argument's sake, and you've got a train or a loco coming in one direction towards an opposing point. You have presumably a signal at the just prior to the junction. Do you have to have both a pre-stopping sensor and an end sensor? So that what happens is if the loco is approaching at its normal speed, it sees the point being against it, so the signal is red. So consequently, it hits it gets to the pre-sensor, and then it ramps down in speed to stop.
Yeah, there's no concept in JMRI of a pre-sensor. That's a rock rail kind of feature, I think.
Right.
Yeah, there's no concept of a pre-sensor. There is a concept of a stopping sensor.
Yeah.
But what you'd have to I mean, there are ways of doing it. I haven't found 100% reliability yet, and whether it's my own understanding or interpretation of how it's working, or failure to do things right, I'm not sure. But as I say on all these things, I'm not an expert of the software itself, so I encourage others who are maybe to join in. But what I've found is that generally speaking, you can set it up with a block. If you want to have changes of speed up towards junctions or on the run into stations or whatever else it might be, it's a good idea to have something that detects that position of the train to communicate to the software, we are at this point, therefore we're going to have something happen. It could be blowing the whistle, it could be hooting the horn, whatever it might be. So it could be slowing the train down, but you have to have some sensing capability at some point, which is going to feed back into the system to tell it we're up to here. And in JMRI, I mean, you could do it if you're using current sensing on your track. You could just make another block, which would have another sensor, and that would provide that capability for you. Or you can have an infrared at some point, or you could just do it programmatically by having an action in transits and decreasing the throttle after a time. There's quite clever actions in transits. So
I'm trying to get at whether it's that sort of a thing that would. I mean, a stop sensor, but what determines for it to actually stop? There's
nothing in JMRI which says you have to have any sensors to tell the train to stop necessarily. The JMRI will slow the train down and stop it without any sensor once it's entered a section, based on its speed, the length of the train, the length of the section. But If you want it to stop accurately, it's always advisable to have a stopping sensor, because trains can end up, not slowing as quickly as you'd like. Once the engine's warmed up, it won't necessarily stop on a pinhead. So having that extra capability of stopping when you need it to exactly is why a stopping sensor would be used.
Sorry, so it's really looking at the point whereby it knows the lengths of the track and the distances between points and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, so, I mean, it relies on engine profiling for a start. I mean, auto trains, the messages in the help and everything else on JMRI says, if you're going to use auto trains, ensure your locos are profiled. Now, what that means is not using Decoder Pro and setting up your loco with various speed ramps or whatever. What it is ensuring that within JMRI itself there is a recording of the behavior of that loco, and that's done through the special tool which JMRI has for profiling. What it does is it runs the engine up and down between two or three sensors. You set it up on the track. It then, for every speed step, or you can tell it how many speed steps you want to do. It comes up, if you find the tool to do it, it tells you, you've got various options for setting it up. But then it records how that engine behaves for different speed settings, so that it's got more chance of accurately slowing and stopping in the distance that it's projecting it's got to stop within. I mean, it's not necessary again, because it will ramp your loco down if you choose it based on fast, slow, medium. You can choose ramp rate rather than use the profile, and it will then do it just on a straight line curve, basically.
But that's all based on distances and
it's based on the distance in the section, the length of the train. I mean, if the train doesn't fit in the section because it's too long, it will immediately put a throttle to 0. Which is an issue sometimes, because you might have a short section and you want it to carry on right to the end of the section. I've had some discussion online about that, but there are all sorts of ways of coping with what you want to achieve. It's a question of how accurate do you need it to be.
Well, I think I think what you're saying there, you would probably need at least one sensor somewhere on the track to give it as like a reference point, a 0 point, if you like. So that, because if you got a loco going around with a fair weight rake on it, you might get a bit of slippage or something like that. So the timing's wrong. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that's why on my layout, as you know, I've got lots and lots of sensors all over it. I mean this layout here has got 26 sensors on it.
I mean, what you've got there, Roy, is lots of little sections by the looks of it, which you might want to put wagons into, and you might want to stop in, which is quite an unusual setup when you think about how layouts normally are devised.
It's not a normal sort of functioning layout insofar as around and round. It was deliberately designed primarily as a shunting puzzle, and the idea was originally this originated prior to me ever thinking about getting involved in JMRI or anything. We control it all with a combination of Arduinos and VB, or VB nets on the computer. It's only then that I got into, as you know, a little bit involved in, very rudimentary level at railroad automation. And thought, this might be a way to go. And then I did look at Lockrail, and then, of course, at JMRI. And after our discussions in the earlier days, I figured that JMRI was probably the way to go. It's a lot more versatile, gives you a lot more capability, and it is a lot more open, to be able to do these sort of things. So the challenges
with software development. I mean, this is I was doing a Scrum course earlier on in the year and learning about the approach that takes to software development. I mean, it says if you're trying to project plan something to get to the end, thinking you know what you want at the end with software development, you'll be laughed out of the house, because basically it's not like that. The customer rarely knows what they want exactly, because they don't understand what the technology can provide, because it's new technology. It's they're simply not aware of what can be plugged in and produced from different modules and how it works underneath, and therefore what the actual cost might entail and what the ongoing costs might be, and so on and so forth. So it's quite it's a challenge to manage. But this is why agile kind of project management is really important, because it's we're off topic a little bit here, but I think it's interesting. You kind of relate to the immediate kind of next step that you can develop, which is why I think this kind of forum for looking at these sorts of things is good, because if somebody wants to move on in this, I mean, the way to do it is to genuinely discover what is the next step I can take, and have a go at it and learn from the action of doing it. What things are, because half the time, you'll discover so much just by having a go. I really encourage people to have a go, if they're a bit afraid of this, that, or the other. But, get JMRI installed, have a go at building a panel and see what happens. I mean, just a word, there are 3 types of panel. There's a layout editor panel. Does that still exist? The middle one still exist? I can't even remember now. Control panel editor, layout editor, or panel editor, but layout editor is the main one I think you should go for.
That's the one.
Control panels are quite specific, and the other option is an old one, I think. So it doesn't provide some of the capabilities. So choose layout editor and try it out. Remember, you've got to put things onto the panel, shift and click. When you if you click on something, it just won't happen. You have to hold the shift key down, and it's an odd thing in JMRI, but you'll get used to it.
The other thing that I have found is there's no like Control Z or Control V to.
No.
You've got to be aware of it. Let's put it that way, because you've done something and you can't actually reverse it easily. No, it's aware of it more than anything.
One thing I have recently kind of realized is there is an option for stopping accidentally moving things. I mean, there's a reference under edit somewhere, isn't there, for stopping? What's it called?
It's for fixing
that word now.
Locking it.
Allow repositioning. It is, yeah. If you uncheck that, then once you put some stuff on the panel, you won't accidentally drag it around the place and have to reposition it. If you are moving things around, then obviously allow that. Move the thing you want to move, and then put that back on, because what I found is when I'm trying to click on things, sometimes inadvertently you've clicked on something else and moved it somewhere you didn't want to move it. And before you know it, you're spending an hour or so just trying to reposition things. Obviously, if you've saved things on a very regular basis, then you've got your save file to go back to. It's just easier not to have to restart things and reload things if you do make a little error.
That's right. One thing I have noticed is sometimes I put like the sensor icon actually on the circle of the block, and then suddenly you try to select one of them and it will select the wrong one, and you never, because it's although they both seem to default to level 10 initially.
Yeah, I think the levels thing is not used as well as it could to make editing things more intuitive.
My system now with the levels being used on it. I use the levels now extensively for hiding and showing different aspects of the layout.
Yeah.
Which,
we've got a new person in the forum, Neil Watson. Hi, Neil. Yeah. So I said new. That's the same Neil who was here last week, isn't it? Yeah.
Neil Watson, yeah.
So
Been chatting to Neil, so.
Oh, he's coming into the stream. Here we are.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've sent him he's coming in.
Hello, Neil. You're muted at the moment, so if you want to try unmuting.
No, you're still muted.
I'm unmuted now. You can hear my dulcet tones.
As long as you're not echoing like Peter was just now. I don't know if you saw
yeah.
him,
Well, my first one, because I had two lots up. Anyway, sorry.
No problem.
It's working. It sounds like it's working well, so that's good. Yeah.
Neil, after your email.
Yes, I've got two going. I'll get rid of that one. That's better.
Cool.
Yeah.
You were saying you've done some logics with, for this grouping.
Yeah, well, John was the one who suggested it, and I'd said I'd shied away at it, and I bit the bullet last night and had a go, and it's really powerful, isn't it, John?
It is. Oh yeah.
I've not seen that, so I mean,
if I can do it, it's easy. Honestly, if I can do it, you'll eat it with a rusty spoon.
Well, maybe unfortunately I can't do tonight's chat, but if you're okay for tomorrow evening,
can I grab the screen a minute and I'll show you what I've done?
Absolutely, yeah.
John's happy with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Share.
Once you've done it, I'll click on the accept button to pull it in.
Well, okay. Oh, right. 2 seconds. I've got to pull the screen up. It's this one I want to show. Where are we? For some reason it's not entire screen. Yes. Oh, share audio.
Unless there's audio, don't worry about that.
I'll just do the window. It's not letting me.
Yeah.
I'll just.
Okay.
Has that come up with my?
It's on slide. Yeah, it's come up now.
Right. Okay. So clear line run through. I don't know if you can see my cursor.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So you've got a clear line through. That's my doll for my right hand point. Straight through. Buffer. Yeah. Same the other way. Straight through. Now, if I change this point, now I could do it as you said with group. I could get this. Now, if you notice, they swap over.
But before you go on, what are you meaning by group? Sorry.
Under tools, signals. If you go into tools, signals, and then you've got head, mast, group. Yeah,
that obscure aspect of things. Yeah, that's a pretty advanced feature.
No, I got that working, but it's not as powerful as Logic's, because
what I don't think it is.
Do is I could get it to do this, yeah. But when I did this, occupy this block. Okay, it wouldn't do that, and also so what happens is this doll here is reliant on the aspect of this signal. So if I was to do this, what would happen is this doll would go to green because that's red. And that's as far as the logic will allow with group. But this is done under Logic's.
Logic's is better, yeah.
Oh, so you're not using groups then?
No, group isn't as I've just found out, unless I'm missing something. Group can only go within. This is what I'm using is the state of the point to determine what's happening here on this one, on the doll. But also I'm setting up so that if I then say, all right, I've got a siding. Now that's turned clear on both ones to go through the siding. But if I occupy that siding, those two automatically go to red.
Right. Now, are you saying that you've done all of that, the whole thing in Logic's, or just that little bit?
No, just this one here. These ones, this little group of signals here on this gantry, because that would be on a gantry.
Right, okay. Can you show that bit of logics, just out of curiosity? So you're obviously referring...
Right, yeah. The only problem is I haven't finished it off for this one. I've done 4 bits, and I've just saw you coming up, and I was about to do this bit. So I'll try and bring it up.
Show us what you have done. We can walk us through adding it in, maybe.
I'll see if I can get my whole screen up. I'll stop sharing, and I'll see if I can bring up my whole screen. Share, screen share, share screen, entire screen.
Just make
For
sure
some reason it won't let me share the entire screen.
Yeah. Don't give away any personal details from anything on there.
Yeah, it's not letting me share the whole. Perhaps if I click on there. Right, be careful. Sharing screen audio, other part of will hear themselves. Okay, so right, where am I? Logics. I've got 2 lots up. So what I'm going to can you see that now?
Yeah.
See, that's what I've got. Please excuse the annotation in the username, because I've only just started, and as I started building it, I was getting, the naming got better as I went along.
Yeah, not to worry.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, what I'm looking for is how you actually reference.
Yeah, I'm going to try and build one up for you.
Okay.
Right, so all I've got to do now is to get the right dole siding unoccupied, so it goes back to green when the siding is unoccupied.
Okay.
So I add, okay, right dole siding. So what I'm doing here is setting up the logics for the the siding logics. Okay, create, and it automatically generates. Yeah, come on, create. Okay. Right, okay. So new conditional. So add a state variable.
Yeah,
so,
don't forget a username for that.
Sorry.
It doesn't automatically come up on that one, which is
no.
Yeah.
So variable type. So it's on the signal mast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
And then it's right.
Yeah, it's okay.
Diverge.
Yeah, just drive it over.
So I type right throat diverge in there.
Or
update it. And okay.
You're not dragged it over from you.
No, it won't let me. No, I don't. Well, having said that, I haven't tried it. Let me try.
Go back to it. Right, go to the item you want.
Yes. No, it won't. All right. Okay. Hold on.
Drop down.
Mast.
Yeah. Right now.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Right. Okay.
Then you have variable state. I want the signal. No, that's wrong. Cancel that. It's the sensor I need, because I'm monitoring the sensor.
Oh, right. Okay.
So add state variable.
Yeah, it's the master setting after, isn't it?
Yeah. If the what's it, sensor, and it's sensor number 6. Oh, right. Okay.
Make sure it's. Hang on, you got 7 now. Make sure you got it clearly selected and then drag.
Yeah, 7. Okay.
6.
Inactive, because I want it to go back to green, and then update. Then I come down that, and the operator is add action. It will be on signal mast. right throat diverging doll
Okay.
down to there. What do I want? I want
Yeah.
to change the aspect. I want to change to true because
Right,
I'm
okay.
not sure with this one. I might get this wrong.
Yeah, it's okay. I understand what you're saying. That's fine. I'm
This is
happy.
normally on change to
Update.
true. Yeah.
Update. Done. Tells you to save it. I'll bring
Yeah.
up my screen and see if I've managed to work it. So if I go to occupy, yes. No, I've got the logic wrong somewhere.
Don't worry about it, Neil. I know what you're saying. I know what you're
That's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
And that's John. John recommended that.
That's brilliant.
It's quite a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Takes a bit
But
of fiddling with. I mean,
lots of other things. You see,
I was
going back to the
using
group, like I said, going back to the group when I put it as a group,
Yeah.
the goal was dependent on the aspect of the main line. So if it was like this and this then became occupied,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know you
that would see that go red and that would say,
Yeah.
the point's changed over, I'll go to green, but the point hasn't
Yeah.
changed. So this is now dependent on the state of the point.
Yeah, it's okay. I understand that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
effectively, what would have happened with the group, as you were saying, that lower signal is actually taking the inverse of the upper one.
Yeah, and that's all it can do. That's all it can do. But as you see, you can put a load of variable things in there with logic. So if you can get your head around that, if I can do it, you'll have no. I'll stop sharing.
I think it's because
what you actually referenced. I thought you were referencing the actual the LED, the light itself, but you're not. You're referencing the sensor. That's okay.
Yeah. You're telling, look, if the sensor's occupied, do this.
Yeah. No problem.
But then you have to tell it when it's unoccupied, so you have to give it a true and a false.
Yeah, it's okay. That's fine.
You might be able to find to be able to code it slightly neater than that.
Yeah.
There is a feather, which I'm not sure.
Yes.
What the feather output is to connect to, and I guess you tell it in terms of the digital system you play. But anyway, it's if you can use that in Logic, it's quite interesting because if you call up the mast in Logix, a feather mast, it will give you the number of because you've got a line of color lights to point which way the route's going. It gives you from 0. 0 is off, and it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Round like that, and you can choose which one you want lit. So I was playing with that earlier.
That's an absolute feather of a series of lights, is it?
Yeah, a feather for a multiple aspect color signal. Yeah, so on the British route junction.
People, for them modern people,
modern people.
Yeah.
What we use anyway now, a feather, or do you just have a second LED like you've got at the moment?
Yeah, that's normal British standard practice now, But on older layouts, if you want a junction, you have to have something else going on. So what you're talking about there is what at the start of the discussion, I was talking about some of the things Pete Drury came on earlier. He's got a southern region layout where they have gantries with multiple heads for different routes, and he was trying to set up masts with different heads for different routes, and of course it's not kind of getting there because JMRI requires you. I was saying it requires you to have a mast associated with a block boundary. You can't have more than one mast associated with a block boundary. So the whole idea of how many heads and how many masts, it all gets a bit kind of confused, particularly if you then try using the BR system, because there are no junction masts in there, and really that needs expanding to include gantries and the capability of adding gantry heads and that type of thing, particularly for, I think, I'd have to go back and look at the GWR system, but there's a bit of an oddity in as much that if you
GWR, I'll just use that.
Is it? Because if you use, in theory, I was saying to Roy, I think last week, we've got the statements made from JMRI that you shouldn't mix signaling systems on a layout.
No, I found that out.
I think it's probably, when I've done it, I have done that, and I know that there were glitches and things. But what I would say is that sometimes you find that the layout you're trying to build does have different types of signaling at different points on it. I mean, I'm modeling the Nuki branch, and it's got color lights in some places, which obviously I go for the BR2003, but in a lot of other places there's a load of semaphores. So do I, what do I do in that situation? And it's not altogether obvious, and it's not altogether straightforward at the moment with the systems that are available to plug things in and get it working. So
have you ever
nice to see
creating your own signals, signal icons? Because I've had a lot, whoosh over my head.
I have had, I've done some icon creation. I've got some on my panel which are not signals. I did have a go at a signal mask once, and I think I gave up.
Oh right, if you gave up, I won't try.
Well, the problem I have with it is that, there's two things. One is I find the clickable area around the icon, when it's a large icon, if you choose small, it's not a problem. But I wanted to, if you choose small, you can't customize the icon. It just gives you the bog standard default. As soon as you choose large for the icon, the clickable area can become an issue, and I need to understand how that is managed.
Yeah,
it's not as good as it could be for some of the large icons at the moment. It's kind of, you find yourself trying to click on other things which are some distance away from the mast, and you end up clicking the mast.
You can still do that.
So I've got to get my head around that a little bit. But in theory, what was the other issue? The actual icon folders and the way of managing the icon directory updates. It seems to be a little bit flaky in terms of doing the searching and stuff on it. Whether that's been improved, I don't know. But last time it is some while ago that I tried it, but it was kind of hanging on me and things, and not wanting to do it. So I nearly went back to the forum to ask what was going on and stuff. But I then decided I'd just carry on in another approach. So I didn't need to do what I was trying to do anyway. But I would like to get some other signals in there, because at the moment they don't kind of correctly represent British, even the GWR, they don't represent things properly. It'd be nice to get some more in there. Somebody was going to be doing some a while ago. I'm not aware that they managed to succeed either. So
sorry, Roy.
So that one you're talking about, John, that has the feather actually on it, which it does the different angles. Which version of, what group is it? If you see what I mean. Like at the moment, we're using the 1936 GWR. Yeah,
if you use BR 2003.
BR 2003.
Yeah.
And it's in there, is it?
Yeah.
Have a look. I'm just curious. So if we take now, obviously my layout or anything like that, where you've got the straight and then you've got the spool off from it, or whatever you like to call it, is that the standard now to use a feather, or do you use two signals?
The standard is a feather, yeah.
The standard is the feather, right? Okay. But I'd like to try and have a look at doing something with that, to make it more realistic.
Yeah. If you're approaching a large station or a very, very large junction, then you might use some kind of numeric route indicator rather than feathers, because it does get a bit silly. So how many?
I mean, it's not a lot of it is knowing where to look, because you've got a whole bunch of things to look at,
I believe there's
sorry.
Go on, Neil.
There's I don't know if you've seen. There's a series. I think it's 8 by a guy called N. Cliff.
Nigel Cliff.
And that explains about, because he actually, this is where I went in with the logic, because he, with that British Rail, that has got a call on. He's got a signal with a call on to go into a bay, and then he had to add, and he actually adds, I think it's number 6 or number 7. I've just looked it up. I think can't remember, it's number 6. It might be, no, number 6 is permissive. Number 7 is he actually explains about the feathers, the feathers the same as you.
Yeah,
John
yeah,
explained,
yeah.
but he actually used logics for that.
Yeah, I mean, in the large masts in the BR, if you go in to change the aspect, shall I show you that? Because I
Yes,
think
please.
it's a thing that people don't really. I'll share.
So where did
screen.
you get from Nigel Cliff from? Off the user group?
He's got a YouTube channel.
Do you know what
He has been on the forum a couple of times though.
Do you know what that YouTube channel is? Is it just Nigel Cliff?
N Cliff. If you type in N Cliff, JMRI signaling, and there's a series of 8. He shows everything from the hardware all the way through there.
Right. So effectively, it's N Cliff in the all one word. N Cliff. What was the single?
No. N for, you said Nigel Cliff.
Yeah. N for no. NCLI double F.
No. N space.
N for Norman.
Yeah. For Nigel space Cliff.
Oh,
CLIFFE.
Oh. YFFE. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. I'll have a look at that later.
And then JMRI signaling, and there's 8 little sections where he takes you through. It's really you wouldn't, without having some knowledge of the system, it's difficult to follow. It's not a very good teaching.
Right, okay. But, I mean, the thing is, it generates questions, I suppose, you know.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, sorry, John, I grabbed it again.
That's right. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. What I'll do is just hope you enjoy what you can see. There's a train running backwards and forwards while we're chatting.
Oh no, can't see any trains. All I can see is
what
the
can
stream.
you see?
It's the.
I've got the screen disappearing into infinity. Oh, I did.
It's gone back to
Right. There's 3 of us.
Sorry. Hang on then. Don't know why you're not seeing what I'm seeing.
And I need to get a track.
Let's try that.
Discuss auto train with you at some point, John.
Okay.
How many years did that take you to create?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah. It's an ongoing project, you know. I mean, I'm trying to test everything before I build the layout. So,
yes.
You know, it's a bit of a monster, but this is the plan for my YouTube channel, is to have this actually built and running. You can see there's a train looping around at the moment. What I will do is I will choose a signal at the moment, which is just on here as a head, just a random one anyway. Let's choose this one here. Going to. Sorry.
It's okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I'm going into. I've right-clicked on just a normal signal head, and I'm looking now at this option. Use signal mast icon set. So the default gives you that. I don't use aspects, but if I click on large, you'll see that now we've got this large mast appear.
Yeah.
I'll pull that down somewhere. I'll pull that down there.
Yeah.
It depends on how. I mean, I've got a few of them on there, but it just I like the look of them. You know, I mean, you don't have to do it, but one of the things you can do is then if you go into no, it's not there, is it? Because that's okay. The mast itself is as it is. This is where I'm slightly confusing myself. I'll do it with this one here. I'll put that back before I confuse myself completely. And I'll put that back to. So my cat's just climbed on my lap. Wants attention. Right, so that's back as it was. Well, I'll look at this feather on this mast.
Yes.
If I right click on that, there we are. I can edit the sensor icon because this is just an icon and it's actually a sensor icon. If I go into there to edit it, you can see we've got these 4 unknown, inconsistent, active and inactive.
See, I can't see any difference
things.
between them.
Well, there is no difference between those because all that's doing is just giving you the background.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's giving you the background.
Yes.
So literally you have a background icon, and somewhere here, if I click it, or if I move things around a bit, if I manage to, because somewhere hidden here, which is not on at the moment, but yeah, it's probably, if you turn it on, you can see it. No, that's not it. Hang on a minute. Let me turn it on then. No, I need to get the actual. I'm not doing this very well. It would normally turn on by one other means, but because I can't get it to turn on manually easily. You can't see it because it just doesn't exist.
Right.
Oh. Well, bear with this train. Once this train's out of the way, I can set the route, and then it will. It'll actually go on in a moment because it's going to automatically set it to go the opposite direction. So,
yeah,
this train's coming round into Newquay. As soon as it clears that point, it will give us, hopefully. There we are. I can see it now. This little line of white dots.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah. So it's called
Talcon
up junction feather. So if I edit sensor icon now.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. Have I clicked the wrong thing?
No, yeah, that's the background. That's the icon.
This is the problem with the clickable. Oh, it's gone off.
You had it there. It highlight. You went over something there. I think you went over.
Well, that's just strange.
Yeah, exactly.
I did see the four.
Yeah,
dots.
it will come up again in a moment. So let's make this train disappear altogether.
Are you able to zoom in onto it, John?
Say again?
Are you able to zoom in onto that location?
Yeah, I can zoom. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now are you able to click where those? No.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, there you go. There it is.
Yeah, there we are. Got it. Oh.
No, you've missed it again. You got it and then moved off it.
Did I? Oh, hang on.
Oh.
That's it now.
Don't move.
Talcon up junction feather.
Yeah, that's it.
That is it. It's telling me the right thing there. If I'm now clicking on edit sensor icon, it's showing me the background still. Why is it doing that?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, hang on. Hang on. It's got this selection list. Yeah, that's not what I want to do. I'm a little confused because it should be showing me the actual feather.
Can you move the board away? Can you move the board away, John? So it doesn't. If you.
Is that far enough?
Try that.
Well, I'm left clicking to get that to turn on. So edit sensor icon. Oh, that's working now. Very peculiar. Very peculiar.
Yeah, I think you said right. Its selection area is.
Yeah. It might not show up so well. I mean, this is a white thing on a light grey background, which isn't very helpful. Yeah, but so what you've got there is you've got the active is showing the actual icon itself, and the inactives all don't have anything. But if you do the change icon button, and then over on the left you've got the tree structure, and underneath program directories you've got icons, and underneath that, I'll expand that bit.
British Rail
You've got British Rail signals.
Yeah.
And then you've got you've got the aspects, and you've got the large, and you've got junction indicators, and you've got background. So these are all your backgrounds.
Right.
So basically you can place an icon and then choose your background.
Yeah.
And or you choose your junction indicators. So these are your
that's what I saw these and I thought, what's going on? Like, obviously it's white, the white lights on a grey background.
Yeah, you're not very visible, but
do you have to actually place those on top of your backboard then? Or do they
you just drag them on top? So put put on here as you might like them to be. They are there. If you tilt your screen at the right angle, you can make them out.
Yeah.
But
different background.
Oh yeah, you can. If you do it, yes.
The thing about this,
I put it about 45 degrees, well, 50 degrees to mine.
Yeah, I did that myself to find them.
Yeah, they do show up.
The thing about this is, if you are trying to add in your own icons, then you've got all kinds of things in here, but ultimately there's a resources folder.
Yes.
What they advise is you put your icons which you want, which you've created yourself, in there, because they won't get overwritten by other things.
Right.
No, I think this is where stuff is, but I don't know. Is that the resources one? That looks like something else. That's not it. I may have removed the old resources one, because I don't think I've got it there anymore. And I have got some of my own bits and bobs. So where did they go these days?
So do you create them in a drawing package then?
Yeah, I mean, I used Paint.
Yeah.
And if you can find any of the original ones in the folders, you can copy and play with them. You know, I mean, they're all there as JPEGs, and so.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I've got to. I mean, JMRI. The documentation is fantastic, but it's not. It's different. When I was trying to find with the logics, it tells you how to open logic, goes into great deal on how to open it, but then when it takes you the next further steps, it's like John said about dragging and drop. What I was saying, it leaves you out with your backside out in the breeze.
That's right.
That's why I think this kind of forum for doing things like this is kind of useful, because it's a lot easier to show somebody and walk them through it than it is to so.
Well, I've learned, since joining this lot, I've learned an awful lot, and it's encouraged me, because I was thinking, oh God, where and you three, and including Richard there, have encouraged me no end amount.
Well, I think we encourage each other, and John's been brilliant.
It's mutual.
All. Neil?
You sorry?
You can see the top of your head, but not all the pictures in the background.
Yeah, well, they're a lot prettier than this, Fizzog. There should be a Highland coo there somewhere. There she is. There he is. There's a Highland coo. Which is a lot less shaggier than me.
Say hello, Mike. This is my Pascal. There you are.
Oh, right.
That's my Jemima.
Right.
She always wants to be part of this for some reason.
I sent you an email earlier on, Neil, about tomorrow evening. Are you okay for tomorrow evening for 9:30?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I got one from Richard as well.
Yeah, I sent him one.
A very long tome from him.
Well, I sent him one. I sent him the wrong time. I told him it was 9:30 at night. So it might be a bit too late, that. So I've rectified it and so forth. So we'll have a look tomorrow night.
Yeah.
I don't know if John's about, whether he wants to join us.
Yeah, like I said, I'm tending towards. I know the GWR they've got is from the lights, you know, for lights, but it works perfectly for what I want.
Hmm.
It would be nice for the graphics on a thing to have proper semaphores, and if that's
Well,
why I'd love to spend a bit of time going down that road.
it's in a way it's way beyond what anybody actually had in reality, because if you look at what the panels, well, I mean, you had a signal box. I mean, that's not a signal box, is it? Having a diagram, they had that. Well, even in a signal box, you had a panel, but it didn't normally have active lights for signals. Even, I mean, it wasn't until you got to the domino panels that you started to have sometimes a single light for representing whether a light was clear or not. It didn't even show you the aspect, as I understand it. I mean, I've visited Swindon panel.
Well, I've been looking at Midhants because Midhants is my really the Midhants watercress is my local. I've been on a few of their beer trains, and they've got a guy there doing a lot of stuff. I don't know if he's a professional or whatever, but he's done a very good series about various things, signalling, boilers, all the rest of it. And they were showing in the box, and they do have some form of repeater to show in which position, mechanical repeater, and whether it's got on, off, and wrong. So if the cable were to break, it would drop, show it's not activating.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was for the points or for the signals.
I think they had those on the points.
Yeah. I know they were saying they can actually
maybe on
the
maybe
point,
on signals as well.
The maths, they can, on the signals they can adjust the tension,
but
allowing summer and winter.
Yeah. Did you notice on my panel though? I've got a couple of instruments, which I mean, I've tried to create a couple of block instruments.
I think I saw because did you do a video about?
I think I did at some point. Yeah, demonstrate
I
put the thing on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Cursorily look at it. I might look at it again.
I mean, they're a little bit big, but I mean, one of the things I do like about the idea of having a token machine for automation, particularly if you're running over single track automation at all, is that it as in a real railway, it does prevent you having head-on collisions if you've got the logic set up to control the token in and out, and having a nice visible sign and a big clickable area that you can click to take it in and out does it's quite a useful device actually, beyond anything else. But I mean, this I mean, it's fun to do these sorts of. I mean, I've got a local signal box down the road from me in Bristol. I've got Warmley signal box, I mean, at the moment they've got the levers in the frame, but they've got there's no connectivity to any signal, because they've got one mast which they're about to install. But it would be nice, and it's quite possible to think that you could connect up micro switches onto all your tappets and things to feed back into something like JMRI. I mean, JMRI would do it, and then you could integrate that with your bell codes. I mean, you could wire the thing. To make it work. In fact, that's what Swindon panel effectively is behind the scenes. It is JMRI and a whole heap of other things, but JMRI does the bulk of the work to control a very large NX panel. So entry exit, which is quite phenomenal. The work they've done, the guys in Swindon for that, Didcot, because it's like Didcot now, is amazing. And one of the things they did there was just they built some a couple of scripts to actually populate the XML files based on their own spreadsheet. So because that's how the format came to them, and they set it all up, checked it all out thoroughly beforehand, then just plugged it into the scripts they made, and it built all the XML behind the scenes so that the signaling all instantly became available and all was working.
Yeah, brilliant.
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Well, it's coming up to almost 2 hours now, so
I
think I'll
appreciate your involvement, guys, and
thanks
for sharing your experiences.
No problem.
Before you go, Roy, your track in the background there,
Yeah.
Is that on a piece of decking?
No, what it was, it was at the club. We had some barriers for stopping the public getting too close to the layout.
Yeah.
And you changed them to a different thing. So I grabbed one of the things. It's 150 millimeters wide. 150 millimeters wide.
Yeah.
By 2,400 long. And then it's depth of about 30 millimeters, I think. Just enough to put the servos on and that sort of thing underneath.
Yeah, because that looks,
But
it's interesting.
No. So all the red tape, all the bits of red tape that you can see are all the original places where I was putting, where I had all these sensors. But
I'm still a great believer in current detection. I'm afraid. I know it gives you. I know that I can understand with the IR because that what you showed us the other night about timing and that, but that's way over my limit. I just want something running.
Well, that's what I'm aiming towards on this now. I mean, effectively, if you've seen the, I think I showed you the.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
The what's it the other day. I mean, effectively, this has all got to be revamped because there's nowhere near as many sensors on it now as what there was. So I'm just, it's physically getting onto the things at the moment. They're just too many things in the pipeline. I had my diabetics review yesterday. I've had my eyes tested today.
You're falling apart.
Yeah, oh no.
I'll send you some Gorilla Glue. I'll send you some Gorilla Glue.
All right, I'll see you soon.
Just one word about future broadcasts on this subject because of my new work coming up, I won't be able to do 2 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Well, same. I mean, I skived off. I should be invoicing at the moment, but
yeah, from I think next week will be the last Wednesday at 2 o'clock as a regular. And then either if I find myself in an evening and free to do it, I will. But and that might be a bit ad hoc. Otherwise, it's when I get onto the 4x4. I'm doing 4 days on, 4 days off shift, which will allow me a couple of days, weekdays to be able to do it.
Do you want us to CC you in if we're running something?
CC me in. Sorry, on what?
If say Roy, Richard, and myself, do you want us to CC you in? Just CC you in if we're going to have a Zoom meeting.
Yes, fine. Yeah, I can't guarantee I'll be around, but if I am and you're using JMRI, I'm always interested.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we are up here a bit of
I've got to watch how much time I spend. I've got other things I'm supposed to be doing.
Same here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having a link up hopefully tomorrow night at 7:30. So Neil's going to host again, are you?
No, it's your turn.
I'll have a go. I'll try. I'll send out the invitations. I'll try it. I think it'd be good if all of if we can do it. So I'll send them out to all of us accordingly.
Thursday night used to be Thursday night used to be my popping out night for a pint with my mate, and seeing as things are relaxed a bit more now, I think that might recur tomorrow.
No problem. I'll see you tomorrow night then, or whatever.
All right.
I'll speak to you soon. See you later.
Okay.
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.
Bye now.
Bye.